Hey everyone, this video is going to be my daily focus list and we'll break down last week's price action on the NASDAQ and the SPX. First, I want to go through a quick little mantra that I think is very important for almost everyone to implement into their lives, whether you call it Buddhism, Christian, Catholic, atheism, whatever. So let's do it. Spirituality is vital. Lavishly supplement your faith with goodness. Into goodness, add understanding. Into understanding, add strength of self-control. Into self-control, add patient endurance. Into endurance, add godliness. Into godliness, add mercy towards others. Into mercy towards others, add unending love. These virtues are already deep inside of each of us. So now let's get into the charts, but I really think in today's day and age, we need to focus more on those small details and making ourselves, each individual first, a better person. So we'll start with the E-mini, the SPX. Last week we had a few days where we would gap down overnight, not extreme, but then we would pop back up. So that really hasn't happened too often in the past couple months. We've kind of been grinding up, having overnight flat inventories, or we would have a gap up and then kind of have a boring session. Not to say that we haven't had boring trading sessions lately, but I'm noticing a hint of weakness in the S&P mainly. The NASDAQ has kind of been the stronger of the two, holding everything up a bit more. But we look at last week's price action, and we had, besides the day where we bounced off 4,500, Thursday and Friday were just not too strong. Ended near the lows, and the volume, if you look down here, it came in on the downside. So not that we're in a beautiful uptrend, you know. You check out the trend lines I've drawn, you look at the weekly chart, we're clearly in uptrend. The sentiment is still uber bullish, but uber bullish with a touch, with a hint of weakness. So be on your toes, don't get too greedy. I wouldn't have yourself leverage the moon right now. You know, I still have plenty of positions, but that's how I do it, you know, ride the trend, manage risk, and attack where the opportunities present themselves. But one little tip, this game is 95% psychology. So if you're unsure or you don't have the strongest conviction, go half size or do a position size that is going to allow you to be patient, to be stress-free. You don't want to be super stressed in this. That's just, it's not the way to do it. So we will look in here, you know, we're through the fourth trend line, and now right here we got the 100, right? No, we got the 50. The 100 is down here at 43.06, but we're looking to test the 50 SMA, and you look at that. We bounce off it, we bounce off it, we bounce off it. So odds are we're going to hold the 50 SMA. We're in a strong uptrend, but you don't want to be too greedy. Let's hop over to the NASDAQ. Like I said before, the NASDAQ has been a bit stronger than the S&P. During the intraday price action, it has just been the one that holds the S&P up. But Friday morning, I took a short, and my thesis on the short was, okay, right now, the S&P is dumping. The NASDAQ is holding. One of these two is lying. And I made good points. I got 30 points on the NASDAQ, 7 points on the S&P. And it was because that thesis, we waited, we were patient on our entry, but one of them was lying. And once the NASDAQ gave way, they both dumped hard. So that's sort of how you could use hints and read the price action. So you look at the NASDAQ, and the S&P was testing the 50. The NASDAQ's only testing the 20. So clearly stronger, but we still have those selling days. I would be cautious, but you know, don't be too nervous. Let's hop into the swings quick. We have Apple. I got stopped out at Apple. I took a breakout entry around here. You know, my process is ever adjusting. When you use a weekly chart, there were so many entries in the past few months on Apple, but I got stopped out break even, so no worries with me. The way that most people trade and most successful traders become profitable is they take losses. Most of them have 60% L rates or 55% or even 70%. But those winners, one winner will pay for multiple losers. And that is the key thing. Your winners need to be larger than your losers. There's no exception to that. AFRM, look at this gap up. So I'm interested. I want to see some tight days, maybe a high tight flag. AMBA. I wanted to take this entry. I was thinking about it, but it was just too far extended from the pivot. I love to use the trendline tool, and if we're 3.5 or more percent extended from the pivot, which was 137.25, I'm not taking the entry. You know, part of this game is really knowing your entries. ARK, you see, I'm looking to get into this if we can break over 126.74. I have my entry already in, the buy stop, and I'm risking off 7 days lows. That is sort of what's been working for me lately. Coin, if we can break above this trend line, beautiful. But for now, nothing happening. Crocs, I like the shoes. I'm literally wearing them right now. They are so comfortable. But we're talking charts, we're talking price action, but the fundamentals are there. Trust me, very comfortable. This isn't the cleanest of bases, so I do notice that. But it's still not too bad. You see the volume has been coming in the past few days. Let's see how it acts at that 147 all-time high. Dash. Man, this one was pretty smooth. I don't love the price action, but look at that trend. It is trending higher, and I wanted to get in on that day, but I think there were just better opportunities, and I didn't want to use my capital on that specific trade. D-Dog. I do not like this bearish selling day, but, you know, it wasn't too high a volume, and that's why I'm still holding the position. I took the breakout trade. Looks like a nice triangle, and it really could go higher. DKNG, I got my stop right there. I took the entry on the 61.7 break, and it looks like we're forming a little flag. You zoom in, you do see bearish selling day, but yet again, just like previous stock, D-Dog, the volume is not too high. Thankyou, this has been a leader, and that is why it's on my list. It has literally gotten beaten the shit out of it lately, but it deserves to be on the list because it was a prior leader, and that's important. DT, this one has been a great winner. I believe I'm up maybe 12%, something like that. But so I've been trailing the stop and took the entry down here, I think, on the trend line break. And we just had a beautiful little trend up, and now we're holding in a high tight flag. So, man, if we get the opportunity, I might add my tier 2 into this DT. This looks pretty good, but I don't see an entry. You know, this was your entry day. I wasn't there on time. I didn't have my buy stop in, so I missed it. Beautiful little base, not the cleanest, but not bad at all. Definitely worth keeping on the radar though. Etsy, I took a position Friday, I believe, looking for that break, and we closed under the breakout line, but it still could go. So, you know, keep your stop. You don't want to overmanage trades. When you take an entry, I'm more of a systematic trader. I do use discretional thoughts and actions, but for the most part, I'm systematic. I want to stick to my system and let the system work because that's what has proven itself over time. So, Facebook. I like NVIDIA, Facebook, these names. Apple has gotten beat up, but the other tech names aren't doing too bad. We got a nice high tight flag right here, and I'm willing to take an entry if we do break over that all-time high. Figs, this was a recent IPO, and it's just been kind of doing some weird digestion, but it's worth being on the radar because it doesn't have too much selling pressure. It kind of looks like some big time accumulation. That's just the thought, but it's worth keeping on the list. KNBE. We had a nice volume day with the ES and the NASDAQ closing red, selling, but showing some relative strength with this ticker right here. I'm curious to see if we can take out that 27.75 pivot. If we do, high volume day, if it gives us the opportunity, I like it. MME, look at this nice little flag. Not the cleanest, but it isn't bad, so keep your eye on that over the highs. Net has been one of the stronger stocks. You see, we had a bunch of selling the past 3 days within the overall indices, but Net kind of just digested. Lower volume looks good. Keep your eye on that. I really like this. This is just beautiful. So we break through the longer term, like the weekly trend line, and then we form a little flag above it. Maybe a couple more days of digestion, some sideways action, and then a strong volume breakout through the highs. That will be an entry for sure. NVIDIA, like I said, Facebook, they're both looking good. I like Facebook a little more right now, but it's nice that NVIDIA split recently, because before that price was just insane. Open, I do have position, took the entry on the trendline break, I believe, and now we're kind of forming a little wedge. See what happens. I think it has a lot of potential upside. And I'm also seeing a lot of this sort of pattern where there's so many stocks that have broken the trend line, and I think this looks like, a stage 4 downtrend, stage 1 consolidation, and the start of a stage 2 uptrend from the stage analysis. And Otis, I got faked out around here, I believe. Took a stop, maybe right here, but it's worth another shot. I don't want to take it right off my list, because if that psychological part of the game, you stopped out on something and then you check back a few weeks later and it's to the moon, that's not a great feeling. So keep those on the list if they deserve to be. Penn, I'm going to take this off the list. I didn't notice that we had such a selling day, but it's a nice stock. I like that entry down here, but I'm not in it, so I don't really care for it. And it is on my weekly time frame watch list, so it's not like I'm just forgetting about it, but it doesn't deserve to be on my daily watch list. I like this stock not because of the last few days, but look at this amazing run. And whenever you see a run so strong, the volume profile stacking like that, even though the price action isn't amazing, you don't want to sleep on it. Yeah, QCOM. I think this needs some more consolidation, but man, I like the setup. We digest, we form a little flag, and it really has upside all the way to the all-time highs and above. This is what I'm talking about, run. If we break through this trend line, this thing has amazing upside. And open is kind of leading, but if you look at open and run, where is open? Right here. It's like the same thing, but a few weeks ahead. So that kind of shows you, if open is doing that, maybe run has the same thing in store. This stock, I don't love the closing days last week, but look at the profile, look at the strong run. You don't want to sleep on it. I love this little wedge right here. We break through the highs, now we form some wedging. The volume isn't too insane, which means, VCP, Markman-Ervini, volume contraction pattern looks pretty good. Man, I was upset, not too upset, a little upset that I missed my entry right here. But now we sell down here, I would have been stopped out. Maybe it fakes out a lot of people and we get a better entry. Keep your eye on that. One of the leaders, real leaders, along with Upstart. So if you enjoyed anything, learned anything, or like the way that I think, I preach a confluence of strategies, and you need, with this technology that we have, to manage the way you spend it. So don't spend too much time on Twitter, but don't ignore it either. There are a lot of wonderful people putting out amazing content, and get in the books. The books are truly amazing. So learn from the mentors that are on Twitter, read the books, spend time in nature, and avoid the processed foods. Literally, your stomach is your second brain, and what you put into your system will affect the way that your thoughts process. And one last thing, spend some time each day alone, just sitting and letting your thoughts ponder. Whether you just want to daydream or literally use a guided meditation, check out Rupert Spira. But if you enjoyed this, learned anything, let me know. I would love to hear things that I can improve upon and positive takeaways that you had. But enjoy your day. Be sure to study. Sunday is the best day for stock analysis. Do the preparation now so during the week your execution is smooth. Thank you. I appreciate you watching. Love you all. And live with a gentle, kind focus. That is the way, by improving your individual self, you're going to improve the world. That is my motto, my mantra. Enjoy your day. Thank you.